So we had in the past, of course, a lot of security incidents, and we were monitoring a lot of this stuff. But one of the more impressive ones was that we had a customer that was infected by a ransomware, and they had already Heimdall deployed, which was good for them. They have chosen in the first step the application control and PDM part. So they were already they were still in the testing phase, so monitoring phase, which we recommend. And during that time period, our tools are monitoring all the processes that are executed on the endpoints. So they had a great idea what is allowed or what should be allowed in their environment and what should not be allowed in their environment. And exactly during that time period, the incident happened. So what happened? They were infected by a malware. It seemed to be a phishing attack. So somebody in the environment clicked, of course, you won or something like that. Please download that free software. We couldn't track that because they had not Heimdall email security in place, which we also highly recommend. So that is one of the layer of security they were still need improvement. Well, but at the end of the day, what happened? The user clicked on the executable. He installed the free software, which claimed to be from a valid vendor. That is extremely important. Usually, malware tries also to obfuscate its sources, etc., where it is coming from, and they pretend to be valid software. So the good thing was, in this case, as the infection started, first of all, they had already the Heimdall agent deployed, and we were able to immediately, with our great MXDR team, we put on board in that case to help them to avoid bigger damage or larger damage. So what did we do? As we knew already through the testing phase, which is the average software they are using, we saw that that software is definitely nothing they expected to be in their network. So that was number one. So our MXDR team supported them on activating on all the endpoints the Windows firewall to isolate the infected endpoints, number one. So the lateral movement of the malware was not possible any longer. And in the second step, we used the analysis or the data that we found to block the malware that pretended to be from a vendor, let's call it like that. And we used application control in this environment to block explicitly that vendor so it cannot be executed. What does it mean? Even if the antivirus was not detecting it, they had in place. So the application control was monitoring the processes. It was analyzing the vendor string that is embedded in the file. And based on that, it decided not to execute the process. So the lateral movement and the spread of that malware was also intercepted immediately. So from my perspective, from the security perspective, of course, there were a lot of open breaches, or let's say open areas in the protection the customer had. Obviously, they had not a very good email security, but they trusted, I would say, the standards and not an advanced email security gateway like we are offering from Heimdall. So in my humble opinion, if they would have done that, we are scanning the emails with several virus agents, so the malware couldn't drop into the system. On the other hand, DNS protection, of course. So the phishing would never reach the inbox or would be prohibited. Application control, for God's sake, they had already, so we could stop everything like that. So definitely, the good thing was we could help them immediately, and it was the very fast and swift reaction of our MXDR team to exactly execute the right steps to protect the whole company. I was just a visitor. I was just watching at it. So because usually when we are meeting the customers, we are always, as a pre-sales team, we are of course analyzing or try to analyze their environment to see where they can benefit from Heimdall. We are kind of sales oriented, but of course the first step is to analyze and understand, and also then propose strategies to improve the security. In that case, the lesson the customer learned, unfortunately the hard way, was they have lacks in the email security. They could improve DNS protection, because I think most of the customers are have the wrong idea that it's just security is, let me say, a technology you just switch on. But security is much more. It is behavior training on the one hand side. Don't click on that link. So it's the human factor. And then the technology is coming and try to protect against the cases where the human training or the trained humans are failing. And that is then a multi-layered approach. So it is not only DNS, it's not only NAV, it's not only REP or application control. It's like an armor you're wearing, or if you have a fortress, you have different layers to protect the inhabitants. And that is exactly what Heimdall is offering. And we are offering several layers of security that give you a strong armor against the enemy out there. That is exactly our approach. With our unified platform, we have one agent that is covering all that stuff, including patching, PDM, application control, to close security gaps, breaches that are already existing.